go to the offense of the Baltimore Ravens because there hasn't been a lot of Jackson action for the Ravens at OTAs. The reigning NFL MVP has not attended 5 of the team's 6 voluntary workouts, including missing today. He also missed the start of OTAs the last 2 seasons. As you know, he's entering the second year of that $260 million contract. Here's Jim Harbaugh.
It's this time of year. You know, it's a voluntary time. It's really not something that we comment on. We can't. And that's just the time of year it is. So I can't speak for anybody that's not here. You know, I pretty much know the different reasons guys aren't here most of the time, but not always. You know, nobody's required to tell you exactly what's going on. So I'm not really specifically going to be able to comment on anybody that way.
Yeah, I don't know really what he's supposed to say there. Sam, is this more about optics, or does it actually concern you that he's not there?
No, I have no concerns at all, Hannah. Why? Because OTAs, there's one word, the operative word in OTAs is voluntary. It's voluntary organized team activities, meaning it's not mandatory. Now, in a couple weeks, there'll be a mandatory minicamp, but this is the voluntary time of the offseason as negotiated through the collective bargaining agreement. And so I have no issues with Lamar not being there. John Harbaugh has no issues with Lamar Jackson not being there. And also, Lamar Jackson has been there for some OTAs for the last several years and has still played great. It's not like he's learning a new offense with a ton of new weapons. It's going to be a similar offense as last year, and it's voluntary, not mandatory.
Voluntary is the essential piece there. And last year, maybe it meant more. It was a new offense, to Sam's point. You know, with Todd Monken coming in, they had 2 new starting receivers. Now that isn't really the case this year. To me, the bigger problem, maybe the bigger concern with the Ravens during OTAs, thing they're going to be focusing on is the offensive line, where they lost 3 starters from a year ago. And they trust their ability to draft and develop guys, especially on the interior. Did use a 2nd-round pick on Roger Rosengarten. But this is a team that did not invest a ton otherwise this offseason to replace those guys. So, of course, we know quarterbacks can only be as good as the offensive linemen in front of them at times. Ravens have to look at these OTAs for guys who are going to be starting for them in week 1 of the upcoming season.
Listen, I want to go back quickly to you, Jeremy, before we break, because Acho brought it up, mandatory minicamp, all right? So that is a line of demarcation. Theirs begins on June 11th. Is there any indication at all that he won't be there?
It would be a pretty big surprise, Hannah, if he's not there. I expect him to be there based on what I've gathered. The Ravens expect him to be there. Next week, they got OTAs, 1 more session. If he's not there, it's still not the end of the world. They've been through this song and dance before. Lamar Jackson, when he had the contract disputes, missed some OTA time, was training out in Los Angeles. So he's staying healthy. He's staying fresh. He's still throwing. So as long as he's there June 11th, the Ravens are in good shape.
Yeah, and staying with Todd Monken, as you guys have said, career high in completion percentage and passing yards with him. So they go into their 2nd year together.